Did you know the Social Security Administration is now taking 50% of monthly benefits from thousands of recipients? This massive shakeup has left many retirees and disabled Americans struggling to pay rent and buy groceries. In this video, you'll discover exactly how the SSA's aggressive new policies could affect your benefits, why these dramatic changes are happening now, and, most importantly, what specific steps you need to take if you receive an overpayment notice. Stay until the end where I'll share critical strategies that could save you thousands of dollars and protect your financial security during this unprecedented overhaul. Welcome to Financial Area, where we break down complex financial changes that impact your everyday life. If you find this information valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe to stay informed about policies affecting your financial future. The Social Security Administration has undergone one of its most significant policy transformations in decades. Over the past several months, the SSA has dramatically altered how it handles benefit payments, particularly focusing on recovering what they consider overpayments to recipients. This isn't a minor adjustment. It's a fundamental shift in how the agency operates. Let me put this in perspective. Previously, when the SSA discovered they had overpaid someone, they would typically recover around 10% of that person's monthly benefit until the debt was repaid. Imagine suddenly receiving a notice that instead of taking 10%, they would now be withholding 100% of your benefits. This actually happened briefly before public outcry forced them to settle at the current rate of 50%. Why is this happening now? The reality is that the SSA is facing significant funding challenges. These aggressive recovery tactics are primarily a cost-cutting measure designed to shore up finances by recovering billions in overpayments, often at the expense of the most vulnerable Americans. The people most affected by these changes aren't wealthy individuals with multiple income streams. They're elderly retirees living on fixed incomes and disabled Americans who rely on these benefits for basic survival. Many have received notices demanding repayment for errors that occurred years ago, sometimes due to the SSA's own mistakes in processing or record keeping. To understand the real impact, consider this. The average Social Security retirement benefit is about $1,900 per month. For many, that's barely enough to cover rent, utilities, and groceries. Now imagine having that cut in half, leaving just $950 to live on. For SSDI recipients, who often receive even less, the situation can be even more dire. The consequences are immediate and severe. Recipients are facing eviction notices, medication rationing, and impossible choices between basic necessities. Many of these individuals have no savings to fall back on and limited capacity to generate additional income. If you receive an overpayment notice from the SSA, understanding what you're looking at is crucial. These notices will state that you've been paid more than you were entitled to receive and will outline the total amount the SSA claims you owe. They'll also explain the SSA's planned method of recovery, which under the new policies will likely be that 50% withholding from your monthly benefits. Overpayments happen for various reasons. Sometimes it's because you earned more income than permitted while receiving benefits. Other times it's due to a change in living arrangements or marital status that wasn't properly reported. But often, and this is important, overpayments occur because of processing errors within the SSA itself. When you receive such a notice, your first step should be to verify whether the claim is accurate. Carefully review the explanation provided and compare it against your own records. The SSA can and does make mistakes, so don't automatically assume their determination is correct. Here's what's absolutely critical. You have only 60 days from receiving the notice to take action. This is not something you can put aside to deal with later. Within this window, you have several options. First, you can request a reconsideration if you believe the overpayment claim is incorrect. This is essentially asking the SSA to review their determination. Second, even if the overpayment is accurate, you can request a waiver if the overpayment wasn't your fault and if repayment would cause financial hardship. Both of these requests can be made by filling out specific forms available on the SSA website or at your local office. When filing these requests, documentation is your best friend. Gather bank statements, pay stubs, rent receipts, medical bills, anything that demonstrates your financial situation and supports your case. If the overpayment was due to an SSA error, documentation showing you reported information correctly and timely can be crucial. Even if you can't get the overpayment waived entirely, you can negotiate the repayment terms. The standard 50% withholding is not set in stone. If you can demonstrate that this rate would cause severe hardship, you may be able to negotiate a lower percentage. When contacting the SSA, be prepared with a clear statement like, "I cannot afford to lose 50% of my benefits and still meet my basic needs. Based on my monthly expenses of specific amount for housing, specific amount for medications, and specific amount for utilities and food, I can only afford a repayment rate of your proposed percentage." Unfortunately, getting this resolved has become more challenging because the SSA is operating with significantly reduced staffing. Over the past few years, the agency has cut approximately 14% of its workforce despite handling an ever-growing number of beneficiaries as more baby boomers retire. This staffing shortage translates to longer wait times when calling the SSA, delayed processing of paperwork, and fewer available appointments at local offices. It's not uncommon for people to wait hours on the phone only to be disconnected, or to wait months for a response to written inquiries. Given these challenges, it's more important than ever to be proactive and persistent. Call early in the morning when wait times tend to be shorter. If possible, use the SSA's online services to submit forms and check the status of your case. And always keep detailed records of every interaction, including the date, time, name of the representative you spoke with, and what was discussed. To protect yourself from future overpayment issues, establish a regular system for reporting any changes that could affect your benefits. Income changes, address changes, marital status changes, all of these need to be promptly reported to the SSA. Even a seemingly minor change can impact your benefit eligibility or amount. Set up an online My Social Security account if you haven't already. This gives you access to your benefit verification letter, payment history, and earning record. Regularly reviewing this information can help you spot potential issues before they become major problems. For many affected by these aggressive policies, connecting with advocacy organizations can provide valuable support and resources. Groups like the National Organization of Social Security Claimants Representatives, NASCR, or the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare can offer guidance and sometimes direct assistance. These organizations are also working at the policy level to address these changes. They're advocating for more reasonable approaches to overpayment recovery and better protections for vulnerable beneficiaries. Some members of Congress have also raised concerns about the current practices, which could eventually lead to legislative interventions. The current situation with Social Security is part of a larger conversation about the program's future. The trust funds that support Social Security are projected to face shortfalls in the coming years, which could lead to benefit reductions if not addressed. While these aggressive overpayment recoveries won't solve the larger funding issues, they're a symptom of the growing financial pressure on the system. If you're affected by these changes, remember that you're not alone, and you do have options. Be proactive, document everything, and don't hesitate to seek help when navigating this complex system. A single phone call challenging an overpayment or negotiating better terms could mean the difference between financial stability and crisis. For those watching who haven't been directly affected, consider this a wake-up call to stay informed about your benefits and any communications from the SSA. The best defense against these types of situations is awareness and prompt action. The Social Security system was designed to provide a safety net for our most vulnerable citizens. While the current changes present significant challenges, understanding your rights and taking informed action can help you protect your benefits and financial well-being during this unprecedented shakeup. Thank you for watching this important update on financial area. If this information was helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more critical financial insights. Remember, staying informed is your best financial strategy.